Hey everybody, welcome to HHPK 350 Motor Learning and Control. This is Dr. Kimbrough. I'm going to be going through the syllabus with you and just some introductory materials to get you started in the class. Within this PowerPoint, we're going to go over the syllabus to some extent and then also take a look at D2L so you can see where some things are within the course itself. My name is Dr. Kimbrough. I teach motor learning and control this class. I also teach motor development, group exercise instruction, and some other classes depending on the semester. So you may have me in a face-to-face class, but this particular class is 100% online. My PhD is in kinesiology, specifically in motor behavior from Texas A&M University. My office is in the Nursing and Health Sciences building in the HHP Faculty Office Suite. My office is number 139, and the best way to get in touch with me is by email. My office hours change depending on the semester, but they are listed on the syllabus, and there's my email address. So let's take a look at the syllabus. What I'd like for you to do is have the syllabus in your hand as I'm going over it. So you've got my contact information there, obviously. And then the book, a note about the book, it is absolutely required, so make sure that you get it immediately. You do not need to have a course code or an online code or anything like that, so a used version of the book is okay, but you should have the newest or the version of the book that is on the syllabus currently. This class is about motor learning and control. So we are learning about relatively permanent changes in movement behavior based on practice or experience and the mechanisms that help us perform those movements. The objectives are listed there for you on the syllabus, so I'm not going to go over all of them. The evaluation and grading scale is there on the syllabus for you as well. Basically, there are 4 sections within the course, sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then a final exam. Each of those 5 components is worth 20% of your grade. So within those, you'll have things like discussions, assignments, and quizzes within each of the 4 sections, and then the final exam will be verbal. So I'll talk a little bit more about the quizzes, assignments, and discussions in a few minutes. Within each section, there will be a number of topics. So for example, within the first section, the intro to class topic is the first topic. And then within that, there may be a quiz, an assignment, or a discussion, or all 3, or just 2 out of the 3. So everything in section 1 is due by the section 1 due date, which is on your syllabus. Everything in section 2 is due by the section 2 due date, which is on your syllabus. The time of day that everything is due is 11:59 p.m. on that day. So while you could hypothetically wait until the last day to do a lot of the work, I have found over the years that that does not usually fare well for students, as procrastination in an online class usually results in pretty bad grades. So I'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about discussions specifically. The final exam is also worth 20% of your grade, or 100 points. So each section not only is worth 20%, but there are also 100 points possible. So if someone were to make a perfect score on everything for the entire class, the maximum number of points they could earn is 500, 100 for each of 4 sections, and 100 for the final exam. The final exam will be a cumulative verbal phone final. Toward the end of the semester, I will provide you with a list of times and dates to choose from. You will pick a time and a date that is convenient for you. I will call you on the phone and I will ask you a lot of questions about motor learning and control, and that is your final exam. And again, we will talk more about that as the semester continues. In terms of other things on the syllabus, I do want you to read it in great detail, every bit of it, but I'm going to point out a few things. There are some policies and expectations. The expectation is that the work in the class is done at a high level of academic work. This is a junior and senior level class, so things like grammar and spelling and punctuation are obviously expected. There are a couple assignments where you need to work with another human being in order to collect data that you need to do the assignment. That does not mean that you do the assignment together. If you submit something that clearly another student has submitted either in the same or a previous semester, that is considered a plagiarism. If you take something from the internet and cut and paste it, if you do not cite appropriately your references, that is also plagiarism. And the recommendation for plagiarism or any form of academic dishonesty, the recommendation for a first offense is that the student automatically receives an F in the class. So that is the recommendation that I typically follow. So just be aware of that. You need to be using APA referencing for any citations in papers that you're writing. This class is 100% online, and as I stated earlier, the timeline and the due dates are on your syllabus. I do recommend that you work ahead, and I want to talk in some more detail about some due dates, about quizzes, discussions, and assignments. So I'm going to exit out of this PowerPoint and go into the course itself and show you a couple things. So your view might look a little bit different than mine does here, but I'm in the course and I'm under content, and I've got the syllabus tab. So obviously if you click on the syllabus, hopefully this is where you clicked to view the syllabus, which you can see, and all the due dates are right over here. Okay, so you've got all the due dates. You also have a list of all your quizzes, discussions, and assignments, and how many points they're worth for each section, so you can see everything there. So below the syllabus tab, you also have a couple other tabs, and I'm going to point these out to you. Let's look at the quizzes one first. So quizzes that are quiz questions that are true, false, multiple choice, and fill in the blank will auto grade. Essay or short answer questions will not. So don't panic if you see a low grade on a quiz that has those type of questions. I will grade it as soon as is realistic for me. If you misspell a word on a fill in the blank question, D2L will not recognize that your answer is correct except for one letter. So if it happens, please email me, identify the quiz that you're writing about, the number, what you wrote, and what the correct answer was. If you click on assignment info, I'm just pointing out that you need to read this. A couple things I'll point out. The name of the documents need to be your last name, name of assignment. So here's an example. If your last name is Dunham and you're submitting the arousal assignment, the name of the document should be Dunham Arousal. If you happen to submit more than one version, I will only grade the last version. This paragraph is pretty important. If you need to include images, make them large enough for a normal person to read without zooming in. Crop the images to make them professional. Do not take a photograph of your computer. Use a screenshot and create all graphs in Excel. This section right here was actually written by a student in a previous semester. So this explains to you how to see feedback that I provide using the tracked changes feature in Word. If you are not viewing the feedback I give you on an assignment, I don't really understand how you're going to improve on future assignments. So that's very important. So unless otherwise specified, you need to submit everything as Word documents, not as a PDF or a Google Doc or anything like that. And then third, let's look at discussions. So discussions can be related to having a conversation with a group of people in a room. If you're having a meaningful conversation, you're going to contribute to the conversation throughout its duration, not just wait until the end of the conversation and then blurt something out and then be done, or giving a big speech at the beginning of the conversation and then never saying another word. So to relate that to an online discussion, you need to post well and often. Your posts should be spread out over the entire time frame of the section. They must answer my questions, and you must interact in a meaningful and informed way with your classmates. So here are some suggestions. If you would like to earn a poor grade on discussions, be sure to do these things. And then lastly, under syllabus, where is doc sharing? Doc sharing is at the bottom of the items in the table of contents after you click on content. So if you scroll all the way down through all the sections 1, 2, 3, and 4, you will see a tab called doc sharing. Within that tab, there are, hold on just a second, there are a lot of different documents that you can download that you will be instructed to download and read during the course of the semester. Down here you've also got some information about the final exam and some videos that explain how to do well and how to not do well on a final exam. Okay, heading back to the PowerPoint. So we've talked about some more detail on the quizzes, discussions, and assignments. The textbook is something you need to get immediately. You cannot survive the class without the textbook. The lectures that I provide online are to supplement the text, not replace it. So it's very important that you have the book and that you are using it and reading it. The reading information is included on the syllabus, and it may also be included on the lecture tab or any of the content tabs for a certain topic. So some other information, use of email, you need to check your email every day. If I send you something, it's important. At the end of the semester, the grade that you receive will be the grade that you earned. I don't curve or round or anything like that. We already talked about academic integrity, but just keep that in mind that plagiarism and honesty is, plagiarism is not expected and honesty is expected. My expectations, in my experience, online classes are more difficult than face-to-face classes just because you're missing that personal face-to-face, that literal face-to-face connection. So this is a pretty science-based class, and it is difficult because you're having to motivate yourself and handle your own time management. I am on campus. If you have a question, please communicate with me. Don't wait until the last minute and then, just stay in communication with me throughout the semester. In terms of class conduct, if you're participating in a discussion within the class, please keep your language G-rated unless you are directly quoting someone and it is relevant, and also be respectful of each other for me and for our learning environment. I may have some online chat sessions done in the form of Zoom calls during the semester, so if I send out an email asking if anyone would like to participate in a Zoom call, be sure to respond to that. And again, if you have questions or concerns, please speak up. So succeeding in this class is going to take a lot of studying by you. You're going to need a lot of reading time, and I cannot emphasize enough that you should not cram. You need to spread out your studying and your reading over the length of the entire semester. So don't wait until the end of section 1 and try to cram in everything in section 1. Spread it out. Do an hour here, an hour there, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and that will not only help you do well in the class, but it will also help you learn the information. All right, so again, I expect you guys to use these tabs on the left for your table of contents. So after you have done, listen to this lecture, under Intro to Class, right here, you will see a discussion and a quiz. So you'll need to do both of those. There are due dates here on the quizzes, but keep in mind the due dates, the official due dates are always on the syllabus. Again, this is Dr. Kimbrough. If you have questions, please let me know, and I look forward to this semester with you guys. Good luck.